some friends of mine went away for a while, so they lent us their fish, not as like a here you can take these fish for a little while because we know you love fish. It was more of a we need these fish to stay alive and we're not going to be around. So it was fun to have some fish in the house, mainly because you got some little friends you could sing to or do a little dance to or like feed. They used to swim around, which was really interesting, cool thing to do. Fish are really good at swimming. 3 weeks. We had them for 3 weeks. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I took a lot of photos of these fish. Someone who takes really nice fish photos is Sam Abel. He's like a patient, slow photographer, and he waits and waits and waits with the composition set until the photo presents itself. So here we go, looking at some photos of Sam's fish. He does this beautiful one here of a fish in a fish tank. It seems magical, but it's patience, is what he says, which is true. It is just patience, and something that I discovered as well with these fish. I also like built up a composition and waited and waited and waited until the fish organized themselves in a way that was satisfying to me. And like the main thing that I'm looking for is the fish separated from the background and not touching anything else? And does the fish look cool? Or does the fish look like it's doing a cool pose? Here today we're just going to look at some fish photos. At the end I've got some film photos to show you of these fish that I took. I don't have them back yet, so that's why it's at the end. Here it is, the photos of the fish. As you can see, I tried to separate them from the background, make sure that you can see their entire body, and so that they're not touching anything else in the frame. It's kind of hard and takes a lot of time. Sometimes it's not necessary because there is something nice about the way the water renders on the corners. These photos here in particular reminded me of in Better Call Saul, there's a lot of goldfish, and they're always timed perfectly to be able to be seen in the shot. It was always pretty surprising or interesting and magical how they got the timing of these fish down every single time. It must have taken a lot of work, and I felt like them when I was doing this. You're seeing my face again now because I think it's important that I tell you, what was I going to say? Something about something about like there was a situation that I thought was really funny. See, I'm laughing right now. That's how funny it is. Basically, after a few days of taking photos of these fish, I got the feeling that they understood what I was doing. And this like game started to happen where I would set up and make a photo and then like take a photo. I think they could hear it potentially of the shutter clicking. I would take the photo and then they would move, and then I would take another photo and then they would move, and they kept going between like like looking at me and moving and being out in the open and swimming all separate from each other, to then like all going into the corner together all at once. And it felt like I would take a few photos and then they would all rush to the corner, and it was like they were like, okay, that's enough photos, we're done posing for you, we need to take a break. And so I would just wait and wait and wait and look at them and like stay and wait with them, and then they would all fly around and do fish-based activities again, do they swim, they don't fly, but it was fun. It was like we were playing a game, and that they were also a part of. I was obviously, maybe they didn't get it, but it really felt like we were communicating in that moment. It's like the most fun I've had photographizing animals before, like, because usually I'm just making photos of dogs or whatever. Dogs don't really get it at all, but I felt like these fish understood what I was doing, and we had a good time, me and the fish. Okay, I'm interrupting this fish video for a word from this new book. New book that new to me called Probarians by Thomas Russet. Let's have a look. What is up, YouTube? Today we're looking at Probarians from Thomas Russet. This is the photo that got me to buy the book. It's a beautifully calm, gentle. I don't know what it is. This photo surprised me a lot in the when I was flipping through the book. It made me laugh, and it's a good one. The photos in this book are super trippy, and kind of feel like walking around in like a swamp. You know that feeling on your ankles when you're walking through a swamp? It just kind of feels gross, but also fun. That's kind of what this is like. And that photo was interesting. This is like this upcoming one. It's like a face to me, but also maybe it's a weed plant. I'm not sure. I love this one as well. It feels similar to that blue photo from before. Some Dunlops with looks like some milk or something. Super soft feeling image. Where am I going now? Let's see what we look at. Looks like a mushroom or something. Big house. This is reminds me of an Alex Soth photo from one of his projects. Cool mix of black and white and color. Beautiful little book that I have been looking at. Ever since I first saw that blue photo on Instagram, and even more so now that I've had a chance to have a look at the actual book, I've been really interested in taking these like vertical, long lens photos of objects around my house. It's one of the first things I actually did with a camera. I always used to like zoom into 35 on my Micro Four Thirds camera and take close-ups of a lot of different shit. And it feels good to like sort of go back to that original idea. There's a lot of learning that I got from like 28 and 35mm photos that I can now apply to these close-ups. And I think with the camera that I have, it like suits these kind of photos really suit the camera that I have. Don't worry, because we will get back to the fish at some stage. This has been an extended detour. Good thing about detours is usually if they make them right, you get back to the like original path that you were meant to be going down. So that's what I'm planning to do here. Firstly though, look at these photos that I made. I found $100,000 in a bag. 100,000. A tuna sandwich. Salt and pepper. The type of sandwich that you eat after lunch if you were hungry. Especially if you just had a tuna sandwich. The type of sandwich that you eat after lunch. Eat it after lunch, and while you're doing lunch. Got two sandwiches, one of them's tuna, and the other one's tuna but without the salad. That's why I gotta tell you now. That's why I gotta tell you now. Sandwiches on the subway. Eat two tuna sandwiches on your way home on the subway or a train. So this Probarians given inspiration gave me two really nice successful photos, and let's have a look at those now. This first is a cup that I saw on my windowsill, and if you zoom in, it's got like an amazing bird-like pattern. This looks to me like a negative with a light leak, and it's nice and warm and got a lot of energy in that little fluff there. Together, I think they go nicely, and these were the two successful. I'd been sitting with that second photo for a couple of days, and I decided that I wanted to make like a perfect premeditated version of the photo. Where that first one was kind of warm, sudden and singular, I wanted a version that had, daylight coming from the window, perfect white balance, and I wanted to take my time to frame everything exactly where I wanted it to be in the moment. The reason I wanted to do that is because I want to talk about the difference in successfulness between like a perfect photo and an imperfect photo, and why sometimes it can feel like the imperfect photo is actually better. This is the perfect version of the photo. Pretty nice, I have to say. Take a few seconds to try and notice any differences. If you can, congratulations. You're a damn weapon. easily noticeable is the white balance is different. It's a much cooler image and there's a lot more color separation and color contrast. I've included these little butterflies up the top and, well, look at that. Now you can see the differences with your eyes. Well, they're both nice. As you can see, as was the plan, the one on the right is much more perfect. And I like it. I think it's really beautiful. But it loses that feeling that I initially was interested in, which is this like cropped like piece of a larger photo that the like warm one on the left really has. And I think the reason it looks cropped is because it's literally cropping out the butterflies from the top, and it doesn't include the entire like bush or like whatever this kind of plant is at the bottom. It also has those two little light leaks that aren't really light leaks, it's just a book. So why does this imperfect one work better for me? Well, simply it's because of the imperfections, and I think they make it seem like part of something larger, like part of a larger situation or a larger story. And if you see this by itself, I immediately go like, oh, it's like a negative, they've cut it out. I think I'm having all these thoughts about how they did it, what's going on, like where is this, what is this a part of? Whereas the other one, it's beautiful, but it seems like it's complete in itself. It doesn't really ask any questions. Whereas this one asks a lot of questions, and the fluff ball has a lot more energy. Like the one in the middle, it looks like a Super Saiyan thing. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like the film is going to be back before I want to record this little segment. So let's just talk about the photos as if out of the 10 photos on the roll, I burned 8 on close-ups of these fish because the sun was coming in through these windows, which is pretty rare. And I just like got lost in the sauce and like enjoyed the feeling of smacking off a bunch of photos really fast on the big camera. It's like a freeing kind of feeling. I got in close and used the bellows focus to like focus really, really close to the fish themselves through the glass, and tried to make some abstract photos of the fish in movement. I think I really mostly took photos of the orange fish, if I can remember correctly, backlit with the sun. I think they're going to be really beautiful. I'm excited to see how they feel to look at. Like, did I hit focus? Did I miss focus? Probably missed focus. Either way, when I took the photos, it was a moment when we had our friend Shahat over for lunch, and I decided to step away to take the photos because it was like my only moment of sun in the past like 2 weeks, and I couldn't wait, and I had to make it happen. Good part of doing that is that at the same time I got up the courage to ask Shahat if I could take her photo, which I then did, and I'm really proud and happy that I have this photo of Shahat. She's somebody that has taught me a lot here in Amsterdam and has become a good friend, and she's really lovely to have a chat to and hang out with. Super nice person, and I like taking photos of people that I like a lot, so there you go. This photo in particular, the sun was coming through the window. I put the sun on her face and lined her up with the background here. She was sitting at this table. I'm really happy with how it felt taking the photo. I made sure that she was present and in the moment and calm when I took the photo. I'm excited to have this, and I think it's going to be a pretty successful image. So that's the end of the video. I would like to say like and subscribe if that helps the channel grow, if you like that. I also would love if you made a comment. It's good to see comments. I like seeing what people say, and having conversations in the comments is fun. It's nice to talk photography and just photography. So if you got anything to say it. If you hate the photos, you probably don't hate the photos. Have a good day. Bye.